how are you gonna get rich from posting content? This is exactly how. So, number one is you can't make money from content unless you're selling something. So, you need to make a product and you need to have an offer. Now, you can't sell something or have a product or solution that you offer to someone or a business if you don't have any skills. Okay? Now, that's the hardest part. I've made a few $100,000 online, but by far, like, I started when I was like 20 years old, bro. And I would try to like get clients to pay me to make content for them so that they can make more money, right? And it took like 2 years until I made my first 10K a month online. And the reason is because whenever you're in that stage, when you're a beginner, it's like you're just trying anything. You have no idea what works and what doesn't work, and you have no skills and you have no leverage inside of your business. So it's like that's the hardest part. Now, whenever you're making an offer, okay, you either create something where it's cheap enough where a ton of broke people can buy it, which I don't recommend, or you sell something expensive enough to where you don't have to sell a lot of it to make a lot of money. And if you do the math, right, and I've done both of these, okay, so like I've tried both. There's something called MRR, which stands for monthly recurring revenue. All right. Anytime you see a subscription, it's this business model. Now, this business model really sucks if you don't put a lot of effort into it, because like you can scale it very quickly, right? Because a lot of people can buy it, but the type of people who are paying for it are people who don't have a lot of money. In most cases, that's why they're buying the low ticket product. And so what happens is, if you aren't constantly producing value within the low ticket community or offer, constantly updating it, right? For an example, you see the community school, right? SKOL by Sam Ovens and Hormozi. That is like a big platform where like MRR became like super popular. Now the problem with that is that it's easy to build up, but just as it's easy to build up, it comes down. People join, and then if you aren't constantly, bro, like you gotta like every single day have some kind of like something you provide within the community where it has to be every day you're providing value, because people will leave. You know what I'm saying? They're not invested in it. They pay like what, a few $100s max. Now, the other model when you're developing an offer or a product is that you have to charge enough money to where you don't have to sell it a lot, okay? And so these are two different avenues, right? The first avenue is like, okay, let's find enough people to buy this cheap product, thousands of people, to make a lot of money, which means you have to be very, very good at getting a lot of attention with content. Now, I would honestly never try this. I would honestly never try this model, because it's a lot better to charge something more expensive. Whenever you're starting off, maybe not, because it's like you don't really know what you're doing. So it's like way harder to convince someone to like pay you 5 or 10 grand when it's like, and this goes back to content, right? Like literally, your brand in your content, the reason a personal brand is so valuable is because people will buy whatever you're selling when you have a personal brand. Um, like literally, bro, it's like you will never be able to run out of money as long as you keep producing content. So now the reason why this is a better path, because if you have a 5K product, right? And let's say you already have some content up, right? Making a $5,000 product, and I'm gonna go exactly how to make a product, like what does that even mean after this. But you wanna make content that gets people's attention who has money, okay? Which you can only learn by first, you don't start making content and building a personal brand when you have no experience, okay? The first thing, if you have no experience, is you go work for someone. You work for somebody's business to get experience. Once you have skills, then you start posting content because you already know the problems that people who have money in whatever industry, whatever niche, whatever vertical, whatever, target audience you're targeting, you want to target the people who are already making money. Like, bro, making 5K from selling a lot of cheap products, right? Like a Discord or something, and then making 5K from one client who paid you the 5K up front, even though you're making the same amount, are two completely different businesses and two completely different experiences. And the client who pays you 5K is gonna be infinitely greater. Okay, number one is they will actually implement what you show them or your deliverable, okay? Number two, like with this, is like every single day you gotta provide some touch point to your clients, right? And like, bro, the people who like will pay you from your content, like, bro, only work with people who are making money, bro. Like, that's the number one advice I would give you. That's the number one thing I've learned, hands down. Charge more money, but don't focus on attention. That's a big mistake I also made, was I optimize my content for getting more views instead of making more money. Now, getting a lot of views is cool, right? But getting the right views from the right people makes the complete shift, okay? So, charge more, stop trying to make LARP content, and actually develop skills. And then target people who are already making money. So, like, if you look at your industry or whatever audience that you have, if you're constantly talking about how to go from 0 to 10K a month versus addressing the problems of why people who are at 10K a month can't get to 100, those are two completely different paradigms, right? Now, if you're working with someone and you charge 5K and you're like, I'm gonna deliver this, service, ask yourself, like, what are the problems that these people are having? Because there's only two reasons people are gonna pay you. Is number one, to make them more money, or number two, to solve some kind of problem that saves them more time. And then the third one is association, which comes back to the content that you post. That's why having a personal brand is great, because it's like you develop a fan base or an audience, and these people, they will support you. You know what I'm saying? As long as you are keeping it real and maintaining a balance of not like selling too much, right? Like the people who have mastered building a brand or a business online, they understand the balance of providing value and then knowing when to ask at the right time. Like the more you, and this is just human psychology, the more you ask someone for something, the less likely they're going to be able to give it to you. So you want to make sure when you ask through your content or your audience, when you ask, you want to make sure you're asking at the right time. And the best time to ask is whenever you address the problem they're facing. Okay? That was a bar. So that's how you make money, man, through content. Number one, you got to get good at something. That's the trenches, bro. Everyone has to go through the trenches. Number two, you want to build an offer or a product that you can charge at least $5,000 for. That's the key. And then you make content that is real. Don't make cookie cut content. Don't copy what everyone else is doing. That's like, it's so simple, but it's like, bro, you want to stand out, do the opposite. You know what I mean? So I hope that this helped you. If you want to, you want me to help you actually do this and make you more money within your business, then book a call down below, and you can possibly work with me, and I'll help you build a digital product, or your agency, whatever business you have, will see exactly how I can help you. So hope this, subscribe. Peace.